Why did the Democrats vote to oust McCarthy as Speaker? I might be missing something. But wouldn't it be a good thing to keep a Speaker who, even if they are a Republican, is willing to cave to work with the Democratic Party on important issues? The fact that the likes of Matt Gaetz led the removal effort makes me think it would have been good to keep McCarthy as Speaker. Wouldn't he just be replaced with someone even worse? He isn't willing to work on anything. He caves at the last minute, which isn't how government should work. The Speaker should be able to have a measure of an ability to control and direct the party. He couldn't do this either and bent backwards for 9 people. McCarthy showed himself to be an unreliable negotiator and reneged on his agreements with Democratic leadership. A better question would be, what reason do Dems have to keep him around? Dems saved his ass only for him to go around town and to every camera telling everyone the Democrats were at fault for the shutdown. They weren't gonna file a motion to vacate, but they weren't gonna let it go to waste. Ultimately, the worse the Republicans look, the better it is for the Democrats. They really have no incentive to stop McCarthy from being the shortest-lived Speaker in over 140 years. Why would Democrats prop up the guy who started a totally bogus impeachment proceeding? Why would they prop up the party that voted against infrastructure money but then campaigned on what was built? Why would they cooperate with the guy who removed Ukrainian aid from the budget? Why would they support the guy who didn't condemn the insurrection? The Republican Party needs to get some discipline and grow up. Answer: they don't like him. He reneged on a deal made with the White House. He rehabilitated Trump after January 6, and getting rid of him will cause Republicans to consume a news cycle or 3 with a fresh dumpster fire of infighting. Win, 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 win. They sent signals that they were open to a deal, but he turned them down. They had no incentive to support him. The GOP looks really incompetent right now, and that bodes well for them next year. Why would they vote for someone who went along with impeaching Biden? Edit from the Washington Post just now. Kevin McCarthy learned a painful lesson. There's a price to pay for helping set fire to an institution and then asking the fire department to come save your office. McCarthy authorized an impeachment inquiry on the figurehead of the Democrats. They owe him nothing. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Napoleon said never interfere with an enemy while he's in the process of destroying himself. Not my clown, not my circus. McCarthy attacked Dems on a measure where only one of them voted against it while 90 rupees voted against it. He's a typical example of today's awful GOP, and they have no reason to support him on anything that doesn't directly benefit their own caucus. And of course, the hardcore GOP leadership will try and push this on Dems. But the plain facts are still true. The GOP has the majority in the House. It is their job to elect a speaker. Nobody else's. The fact that they are flailing around completely out of unity and allowing 7-8 psychopaths rule everything has nothing to do with Dems and everything to do with the incompetence of the Rs. Answer: he said he wasn't willing to give Dems anything to keep his job. And even if he had, he's already proven a liar, as he went back on the agreement he and Biden had for the debt ceiling. Republicans have shit the bed bending over for the hard right wing of the party, and Dems will let them sleep in it. Democrats went to the mat for McCarthy last week. And less than 48 hours later he was on national TV saying Democrats wanted a shutdown, when far more House Dems voted to keep the government open than Republicans. Basically, he begged for their help over and over and then stabbed them in the back the moment he got what he wanted. Dems finally got tired of that little weasel. There is no reason for Democrats to support him. It is a good enough reason. McCarthy made a couple of deals with the Dems and then reneged on them. So he wasn't reliable anyway. The Dems have made the calculation that another clown show around electing a new speaker will weaken the MAGAs more them. We'll see if they're right. Was just about to post this same. He didn't cave to Democrats. He did the bare minimum for the USA. And talked shit about Democrats who were helping him the entire way. This like some battered wife talk. If she had just kept his dinner warm. How many Republicans voted for Pelosi as Speaker ever? Why would it be Democrats' responsibility to help Republicans manage their own leadership? Even if they did, it would further fuck McCarthy with most Republicans. McCarthy kept throwing the Democrats under the bus even after they helped him avoid a government shutdown. Because he can't be trusted to keep his word. And there is the old saying, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. I am sure the Democrats will campaign on how the GOP is incapable of governing. Dems just got weeks of Republicans shitting on each other on national TV during a critical primary season and a break from the contrived impeachment proceedings. And if the government shuts down, everyone knows it will be the GOP's fault. They pretty always lose those fights anyway. But this will be way worse. You don't interrupt the enemy while they're making a mistake. McCarthy allowed some very unpopular decisions to be pushed through, like pulling aid for Ukraine. He caved to extremists. Then add the embarrassment of them voting themselves a pay raise. And that was just for a temporary fix. All of this while Trump is losing what is left of his mind in court. He has plenty of dirt on his co-conspirators and is becoming ever more unstable. The party is not happy with Gates either. I think he's on his way out the door. It's always a good thing to help your enemy to destroy himself. Because he threw them under the bus after they helped pass the spending bill to avoid the government shutdown. Also, there's an election next year. So letting the Republicans devolve into chaos and infighting helps their chances of taking back the House. A better question would be, why did the Republicans demand the vote? The Democrats didn't bring up this vote. The Republicans did. I think the question is, what would worse than McCarthy look like? And if worse than McCarthy comes to pass, what satanic power would he or she have to actually unite the Republicans to get anything done? I think the Republican Party currently in the House is the inmates running the asylum. It puzzles me that some people think that the Democrats are required to save the Republican Party, when the Republicans are committed to eating their own. As a Democrat, I'd pass them the barbecue sauce and sit back with my popcorn and enjoy the show. American voters will sort it out come election time. Or not. The Republican Party has the majority. They can fix their own problems. The Democrats aren't required to help. Nor should they. The Republican Party did this to themselves when they let Trump shit all over the GQP. Remember when he barely got the shutdown averting bill passed with bipartisan support? A term which here means with the support of most of the Democrats. And then immediately went on television and tried to claim it was passed in spite of Democrats not wanting it to pass. As if the only reason a government shutdown is ever threatened isn't Republicans throwing a fit about the concept. Because if I were a Democratic congressperson, that would have been his last chance. Why should the Democrats save a crappy speaker? It's not the Democratic Party's responsibility to save the guy. If he couldn't control his caucus, that's his problem. He went out of his way to thumb Democrats in the eye. So why is it their responsibility to save him?